Stanley Cup Finals, Game 4, Vegas hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. Will it be Frederik Andersen? Will it be Brandon Busty? Will it be the Hurricanes that tie the series up? We're going to try and answer those questions for you right here on PuckTime. Andrew and Carmine with you. Hoping you all had a great weekend and hope you survived a late night with double overtime. Carm, what a game that was over the weekend, man. Good to see you as always.
Yeah, that game had everything, Andrew, man. We had disallowed goals, both rightfully disallowed. And then we had a game winner that was a deflection off the backboards and off the skate and into the net at Carolina. My ticket was done and buried. And then they gave me life. And then they snatched it away from me. I almost used the F word there. Sorry. And then they snatched it away from me. Like, what? It is the roller coaster of emotions when you're watching hockey. I enjoy it, regardless of whether you have a bet on it or not. There's no way anybody can say that the NHL playoffs and the NHL Stanley Cup Finals have been a boring one. Everyone was like, "Who wants to watch Vegas and Carolina? We wanted Colorado in there, or we wanted Edmonton in there." Well, we got what has been an absolutely great Stanley Cup thus far, and maybe we equate it with the fact that there's a lot of goals being scored. Everyone loves these higher scoring games with totals, Andrew, that for the most part the numbers don't even support it. When you look at some of the XG numbers, they're lower than what they should be, and it's one of those ones where Carter Hart isn't the Carter Hart that he was in the earlier series. Freddie Andersen isn't the Freddie Andersen that he was in the earlier series. And it brings us right back to your point, Andrew, of is it going to be Brandon Bushy or is it going to be Freddie Andersen? At least at the start of taping today, we are seeing right now just expected goalies. But one thing's for sure, and I talked about this on the, I have a tough time saying that the best damn sports show on Wager Talk, because this is the best damn show on Wager Talk. But we'll give it to Joe Ranieri and Prez on that one. It is Mitch Marner's Conn Smythe Trophy to lose. How do you take it away from him? I think he salted away with that 3-goal effort.
Well, Carm, I think the question is, are we approaching Connor McDavid territory right now where no matter who wins the series, the Vegas Golden Knights will see a player win the Conn Smythe Trophy? Wouldn't that be something? Imagine that for Leaf fans. Imagine they don't even win the series. Imagine the Vegas Golden Knights somehow lose the series and he still wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. That would be the ultimate dagger in the Maple Leaf fans' backs. But seriously, though, I mean, we're looking at a serious number. Carm, correct me if I'm wrong with these numbers here I have, but I believe it's somewhere around the 180-ish ballpark, right, for Vegas to win the series. But for Mitch Marner to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, it's minus 205. This guy, it's more favorited for him to win the Conn Smythe Trophy than it actually is for his team to win the Stanley Cup. So we told you guys at the start of this series, plus 250 or maybe it was plus 150 actually for Mitch Marner to win. It didn't take long for him to get into the minus territory. So, Carm, on this show, look, we got about 20 minutes. We're going to go back and forth together and talk about everything to do with the storylines, try and give out some picks along the way. But, I mean, the sports books odds are telling us this, but I'm just going to ask you this. How likely do you think that Mitch Marner wins regardless of who comes out on top? And we always say this, and I'm going to give you a long-winded question here. We always say that futures and every bet, like Yanni the Greek said this on Wager Talk today, last week. The second that it's the next day, a new day, the future market that you had before is kind of irrelevant, right? I was talking with someone earlier today thinking, and I don't release minus 200s too much, Carm. I probably released a couple in my life at Wager Talk. Is minus 205 a good bet on Mitch Marner? Is it more likely that he wins the Conn Smythe than the Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup at this point? The odds makers think so.
Yeah, well, unless it's the same people that are, I don't see any surprises unless it's the same people that voted for John Cooper to win the Jack Adams Trophy instead of Lindy Ruff. He was robbed 40. He was left off of 40 ballots. What were these guys watching? Anyways, I digress.
I respect it, Carm. I respect it.
I'm just blown away that I lost my Lindy Ruff futures bet there. But with that said, Andrew, it does fall into that Connor McDavid one where, you know, they lost to Florida, but he put up a ton of points. And he's not just picking up like secondary points in games that don't matter. He's a part of this team in when they're winning games. You know, a natural hat trick in a second period of a game in the Stanley Cup Finals is almost unheard of. But he did it. And this is one where if Vegas wins the series and they just need to win 2 more games, he is going to be the Conn Smythe winner, because you have to look at it and you have to say to yourself, who's next? And you look at it, normally people look at goalies. It's not going to be Carter Hart. It is not going to be, if Carolina wins, it's not going to be Freddie Anderson or Brandon Boucher. There are 4 games, a maximum of 4 games left in this series. And I think that kind of like the rearview mirror, objects appear closer than they are. This one is Marner's ahead, and everyone is far behind for that price to be at minus 205, and rightly so. I don't see it happening. Jack Eichel, no. You know, Prez, I was on their show yesterday with Joe Ranieri, and he thought Seth Jarvis could win it if Carolina comes back and wins. I don't think so. I think even if Carolina comes back and wins this in 6-7 games, it is still Mitch Marner, because I don't think he's going pointless over the next 3 or 4 games either. This guy is living the life right now. He is. He's having a good time. When he's playing hockey and he's surrounded by leaders and he's having the time of his life. He really is. You can say win or lose, he's going to be happy, but he's not going to. He's got just 2 games away from the Golden Ring, that championship trophy, the Stanley Cup. This is one where I would take the 205. Listen, the year that McDavid won, if you remember, he was minus 140 at one point. I think that was the only minus number that appeared on him, and it appeared late. And I thought to myself, hey, self, you got to bet Connor McDavid. And I did. You know what I mean? I went kind of large on that one and bet a big figure on it, but I knew he would end up winning the Conn Smythe, because when you looked at the other players on the other teams of Florida, it was a win by committee. They end up splitting the votes. And I think that's what happens on Carolina, because you look at Stankoven. How do you not pick, if Carolina comes back and wins, why wouldn't you give Stankoven the best player on Carolina at the very least? 9 goals he's got. And Carolina is 9-0 in games in which he's scored in the playoffs this year. Maybe focus on trying to get him a goal tonight.
Exactly. And the thing is, Carm, 4 points in the first period last game for Vegas, for Mitch Marner. 3 goals, hat trick, natural hat trick, and the assist, 4 points. And to your point, and let's bring it up here. We'll dive into it here, Carm. To your point about the win by committee, is that how many players on Carolina Hurricanes are going to just explode offensively? You said it yourself. We only have a maximum of 3 games left in this series. So, and I'm going to throw this at you, because look, we talk about our wins, talk about our losses. I believe the last time you and I spoke, I talked about an under 2.5 team total for Vegas. Tried to be bold there. The game was 3-3, then obviously finished 4-3, I believe. But when you look at this series as a whole, Carolina is begging for an under type of game. They need an under type of game. Even when they score 4 goals, they're not winning games. This is a team that's lost now 2 games when they've scored a good number of goals. So when you put it this way as well, is when it comes down to the Conn Smythe Trophy, I think that even if Carolina crawled their way back here, it's going to be have to be with at least one low scoring game. And let's just say some defenseman scores a goal. Let's just say some fourth line guy scores a goal. All of a sudden, that takes away a goal from Stankoven or Taylor Hall. So this is probably, a lot of you guys have never heard me say this, but yeah, I like you said, Carm, I like Mitch Marner at minus 205 to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. I think we'd have to see a lot change. Maybe the NHL wouldn't want to see, 2 times in 3 years, Carm, the guy on the wrong team that, didn't win the Conn Smythe. But I think that Mitch Marner potentially wins this regardless. If he goes out there and gets a point or two tonight, he's pretty much solidifying the Conn Smythe Trophy. So I like that price at minus 205. Just remember, guys, there's no such thing as bad odds. A lot of people that are new to betting talk about bad odds. Like, oh, well, those odds aren't good enough. The only thing that is not good enough is if you're betting a line that you think is overpriced. But if you think something is underpriced, it's worth taking a look at. Just remember when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, and how many people, all the public lined up because it was a good price on McGregor, and all the sharps bet minus 1,200 on Mayweather, and they're the ones that made money. So on that topic, Carm, I like the minus 205. We got a favorited Hurricanes team on the highway, minus 114 game four. The total is at a flat 6. You can find some 5.5s under minus 114. Do you agree with me that Carolina needs one under game?
You would think so. Listen, after the first period of that game, there wasn't much going on. The shots on goal, combined shots on goal, were very low, and it was a scoreless first period. It is just the game kind of got away in the second period because of like quick succession goals. Like I always say, when a goal is scored, the most important thing is the following shift. For the team that's been scored on, do not get scored on again quickly, because when you fall into a 2-0 hole in a game like this and that one, it is tough to come back from. And yeah, I get it that Carolina came back and scored 4 in the third period to tie it up and send it to OT, but that could have been a little bit of Vegas taking their foot off the pedal too, and the Canes just upping their game. But Andrew, this is one where, I think, like, I likely would want to avoid the total until I know who the starting goalie is. Because I think the thought process from a lot of people, and I get it, and I'm not sure if it's absolutely correct or not, is if it's Brandon Bushi in goal tonight, he stopped 18 and 19 shots after coming into the game. The one shot that went in was the deflection off of his skate, off the backboards and into the net. Other than that, he was flawless. And we're talking about a third period. We're talking about the first overtime and then going into like the second overtime. So I get it. You're like, if he can replicate that, but that doesn't always happen. So you fall into a false sense of security of the goalie tending change. And this goalie went 31-6 last year for the Canes. This offseason, or sorry, this regular season. 31-6 with a 247 goals against average. His save percentage was slightly under 9, but a lot of goalies were in that under 9 sort of number. But you think maybe that's what they need here. I don't know. I'm going to wait and see, but I wouldn't necessarily say take the under because it's Brandon Bushi in goal, because these games have thus far, teams have found a way to score. Coming into this series, it didn't look like Carter Hart could be solved. It didn't look like Freddie Anderson could be solved. Both teams have figured out a way how to score on these guys, and those goals aren't coming all via a specialty teams, 5-on-4s, 5-on-3s. So with that said, Andrew, I would wait. I probably have a slight lean to the over. I would not take a 5.5 under. Just wouldn't take it. Because that empty netter is always in, I think it's always in play, Andrew. Yeah. And books are hanging the 5.5s because books like FD and DK don't like pushes. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
always a 5.5 or a 6.5 that is juiced considerably to the under. So I would wait for the goaltending. We know it's going to be obviously Carter Hart. We'll see if it is Freddie Anderson or thing. But would you say, and let me throw this one right back at you, that if they stick with Freddie Anderson and they lose this one and then they lose in game 5 at home, that Rob Brindamore gets hung out for making that decision not to change goalies? Because this was a 2 goalie system all year.
Mm. Well, I think that he's an old school coach is what I think. And I think sometimes the younger coaches, they make too drastic of decisions too fast. But if you look at the goals that Carter Hart has let in versus the goals that Frederik Andersen has let in, they're like different type of goals a lot of the time. So I agree with you. And I think that the way I look at it is this. I think that they should start Brandon Bussey, but what I think is going to happen is they're going to go out on their shield. They're going to start Freddie tonight, and if they lose, they're going to start Bussey back in Carolina, is what I think will happen. Yesterday at practice, I was saying to you backstage, Frederik Andersen got the day off. They put Brandon Bussey in the starter's crease. So it made all of us think, okay, Brandon Bussey's the starter. All these websites are showing the projected starter is Bussey because he was in the starter's crease yesterday. Then you go over to FanDuel and DraftKings, and both those books are showing goalie props for Frederik Andersen. So it's very interesting to look at. But I to answer your question, I think it does fall on him. It does fall on him. He has to be the one to make those decisions. And we got a comment coming in from Jake Cash saying, coming from a Canes fan, sometimes you have to make a drastic change. And I feel like it's a really good point by him because, Carm, it's not just about the goalie. Some people won't buy into these cliches, but it's partially about sparking the team. It's partially about giving Vegas another goalie to think about. And this might be something a lot of people might not realize. Brandon Bussey catches with a different glove. He's a lefty, or he's a righty. Well, he's a lefty, so he catches with his right. And I'm telling you, 4 goalies or 4 players, that's different when you're trying to go top right corner and you forget that that's now the trapper. That's not the blocker anymore, or top left corner. So that everything changes. So I think they should change it. Let's see what Seth says here. Seth says, if Anderson is net tonight, I'm betting the over. Absolute trash can. Vegas Golden Knights, drastic change, was head coach. Looks genius now. Rex says, in much the same way that Avs picked the wrong wood, opting for wedge over black, and the Canes likely made a mistake in choosing Freddie. Well, the problem is, guys, is that, and you guys know I'm a Canadiens fan. I wore my heart on my sleeve. The problem is that Freddie faced like 8 shots a game against the Habs. So, Carm, nobody really knew if he was good or not. He wasn't facing any trouble the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing is they were allowing, 20 shots or less in a few of those games. So it's easy when you're not facing a lot of shots to look good. The number one line still, even though the game 3 was pretty good for them as far as points go. Some of them are sort of power play generated points, but you look at the Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis line, and they had 5 total points. Some came on the power play, but 4 total shots from the number one line. 4 total shots on goal from the number one line. Sebastian Aho had no shots on goal. Svechnikov had 3 shots on goal, and Jarvis had one shot on goal. That is not enough from the number one line. You need that line to be there. It is like if you took away the Connor McDavid, Draisaitl line from the Edmonton Oilers, you pretty much you effectively shut down that team. So you take away the McKinnon line, and you're I get it. They still have a good second and third line, but you're taking out that team. They're allowing maybe they've got to split up that line. I don't know. I don't know if it's panic mode or not, But I would think it's panic mode because you can't go down 3-1 in this series and then expect to win 3 straight games in it. I don't see it happening. I think today's one of those, or tonight's one of those do or die kind of games, and we'll see what Brindamore does. But I don't expect the Vegas Golden Knights to roll over and play dead tonight. I think they know we can put another nail in that coffin. So we can't predict. Maybe those sports books putting those player props up are just the standard of these have been the starting goalies. Let's put them up, and then we void the bets if we don't, unless they have like the crystal ball and they're
they know before we do.
Who do we see in goal type? But with that said, it's going to be another good game. I just don't see how it's a dud. The place is going to be hopping. The Vegas fans are going to be there. The Canes fans are going to be there as well too. It's going to be a great game for tonight, and we'll see if this series gets extended to at least the game 6. You know what I mean? Like, from my perspective, I would love to see the Canes win either tonight or game 5, and that's only because I am going to be in Vegas on Sunday.
Yes.
Where game 6 would be played, and I would love to go and watch that Stanley Cup in the building and possibly being hoisted by one of these two teams. There are things in life that you need to experience as a sports fan, and this would probably be one of them. To be at a final of any, whether it's the NBA where you see the trophy, whether it's baseball, whether it is football at the Super Bowl or World Cup, the NHL, seeing that Stanley Cup when you're Canadian, and you grew up watching hockey your whole life, this is what you want to see, that Stanley Cup. It's not the same as going to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto or the parades. You want to see.
That's the only time we're going to see the Stanley Cup in Toronto, Carm. So that's the only time it's going to land there for a while.
Shots have been fired by Mr. McInnis. But
that's how I felt at the Four Nations. So I agree with you. You have to, if you're in the city, Carm, you have to go to the game. It'll be something so special for you to see. If you guys want some free picks, look, one thing I like here is that you've got just real quick, Carm, before we get to that. I was just gonna mention here. Look, when we look at the numbers here, guys, the series started off. Carter Hart's save prop was at 28.5. Now it's down to 26.5. That's an adjustment. And I think even though I feel we could see a good effort out of the Hurricanes tonight, that old school high shot volume, shooting from all angles, is going to have to be the move from the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. So whether or not they put up goals, 3-4 goals, whatever it may be, I still think the high shot volume gets us over here with the save prop with Carter Hart. So 26.5 is a big dip down from the 28 or 29.5 prop. I'm going to buy low on that stock and take Carter Hart over with him. And Taylor Hall, -110. He is the highest favorited Carolina Hurricanes player to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, but yet he's -110 to record a point tonight. Carmine talked about it. The top line has not been doing that great, which means the second line has to continue to step up. Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven, and Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall -110 to get the job done. And again, guys, I know it sounds crazy, but I think at this point, regardless, you have to think about the Conn Smythe and the Stanley Cup as two different bets. And I'm here to say I think Marner at -200 is still a good bet to make. So, Carm, just a few free picks for me. We'll have some other stuff out there as well, and I'll have some stuff up at Wager Talk, but wanted to get that out there. But you have a great stat here from Ralph Michaels.
Yeah, this one's from Ralph, talking about teams off an OT, and whether you want to fade or home teams off an OT game. The previous one, it is the over that really kind of sticks out. 9-3-2 to the over in that one. And home teams off an OT game are 2-9. So this is a game in which you look at how it's been lined, and it's essentially a coin flip on the game line. 114-107. I created that graphic, the original graphic, yesterday, and not a lot of money's been coming in, but it's essentially a coin flip. even if that price is not available. And the total at 6 is essentially a coin flip as well too. So it is. We talked about Andrew, Carolina and the under. This stat actually leans to Carolina and the over as far as teams coming off an OT win. There's a lot of ways of looking at it, guys. You form your own narrative sometimes when sports betting and trying to find a winner, and you can look at it a couple of ways. You can look at it that the Vegas Golden Knights took their foot off the pedal, and that's the only reason they lost that game. They dominated the second period. Or you can look at it, Freddie Anderson did not play well in that game. The minute they brought in Brandon Boosie, gave the team a jump start. They scored 4 goals and were unfortunate to lose it in double OT. Which could be a coin flip at times. You pick your narrative. But when you're doing so, I think you need to look at the analytics as well too. And a lot of guys don't like the analytics, but when you look at the supporting analytics, Carolina's numbers have been better in the series, and yet they're down 2-1 in this series. So that just shows you that sometimes it's more than just what the numbers are. So we shall see who the starting goalie is tonight, and whether the Canes can rebound. It's been that zigzag type series. Vegas wins game 1, loses game 2. Vegas wins game 3. Will they lose game 4? That is not a handicapping tool. Do not say the zigzag is a handicapping tool. It is not.
There's our guy, Ski Profit.
Ski Profit, man. Ski, I'll be in Vegas on Saturday. I got a cabana booked on Sunday at Circa if you want to come and get some rays, and then we'll hit the craps table.
You better save some tequila for Ski, man. I don't know if they have enough tequila in that cabana for him.
Yeah. One quick note, because I saw the message a little earlier. I wanted to address it. Ron Mexico or Mexico Ron, if you purchase the Cup to Cup package, you should be getting the World Cup. I'm just wondering if the date on that package, the Cup starts with the plays that start when the World Cup starts on the 11th. I will contact customer service. That's not a problem. If I'm following you on the X, send me a DM and let me know. But I will make sure that is taken care of for you, Ron. Not a problem. So yeah, that's it.
Ron's
guys,
a good guy. Ron's a good guy.
Coming up soon will be the best betting show. I'm going to be on that talking World Cup. Andrew, I'll go first, and then I'm going to let you close it out. Okay. I have one play up in NHL for tonight. Of course, I have a $5 play that is available for the World Cup game or not the opener, but the opening day of the World Cup on Thursday. That is available for $5. Returns to regular pricing at midnight. My guide is available on my page. You can download it for free, wt.buzz/CB. It has, you'll find the downloadable guide there. It has some free plays in it, but I'm doing free play videos and free plays on the Wager Talk site all tournament long. So you can find them there as well too. And if you want the World Cup package, it's $149 and you get every single play that's already been released and every single play that's going to be released right through to the Cup Finals. And I have a 5% play loaded for this weekend in the World Cup. So that's it for me, Andrew. Tell us what you got, man, because you are off to a smoking start in the CFL.
Carmen, went exactly the way we planned on it. Look, there was only 3 games over the weekend. I had a 4% best bet that cashed. We had a 3% total of the week that cashed, and our free play on Montreal. They're down 14 points, and the Wager Talk today free play comes in, and they get the job done as well. 7-0 run dating back to last year. 10-2 long-term run as well. 2-0 to start this season. If you guys want to lock in, make some money all summer with CFL, hopefully you'll join me. Hopefully I'm your guy. Shout out to Johnny Detroit. Johnny's always helping us out here, hooking the crowd up. What a fantastic promo code this is. CFL 299, guys. We'll take $50 off my full CFL season. I was number 1 last year at Wager Talk. We're off to a kick-ass start to start off this season. This goes June, July, August, September, October, into November. You're going to get every single play I release in the CFL $2.99. So whether you watch it, whether you like it, it's all cashing the same here, guys. And it was a very exciting week one. 2 of the 3 games decided by just a couple points. So great stuff there, guys. For me, $5 play up in the CFL, $5 NHL play as well. And we got a great best bet run going right now in hockey as well. So don't miss out on that. Guys, I will be hosting the Hockey News. It's going to be a great special show this afternoon. I hope you guys tune in. Check it out on my Twitter. We're going to go over a lot of former playoff series that we've seen and talk about Game 4 a lot more. So check that out on my X page. Make sure you guys are following along for Carmine's World Cup plays because he's been doing so much work. It's going to be a great run, and I hope Carmine is going to make me some money as well. So let's have ourselves a great week, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the game tonight. My CFL show with Terry Edelman and Bobby DeBoe will be posted tonight. But if you guys want to use this promo code, I got plays out CFL 299. OG Hater, number 1 at CFL. You'd be surprised. You know what? I got to put this up on the screen here, guys. You'd be surprised, Hal, because a lot of people miraculously become CFL people once all the other sports die down. So I follow it a ton. Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's not just 3 people. It's a lot of people doing CFL at the website, but we held down that number 1 title last year. Enjoy the game tonight, guys. Best of luck. Get Carmine and myself at wagertalk.com. Leave a like button on the way out. We'll see you guys later.